Well, here we go.
Yes.
Well, hello and welcome to the Timbercrest chat today. This is Brian Daniels, your Director of Program and Services. And our guest today is Adam Penrod, the manager of the town of North Manchester. Before we start the interview, just a couple of quick reminders. Everybody's doing a great job of wearing their masks. Just want to encourage you to continue to do that. Also want to encourage you, maintenance is doing a really fine job of keeping the sidewalks clear. So if you want to go outside and take a walk and get some fresh air, it's a really important thing to keep doing. Also, I want to remind everybody that the testing is still going on every Friday. And so you want to make sure that you make it part of your plans Friday morning to come in for your COVID test. If you live in the neighborhood homes today or Tuesday, January the 19th, you'll be getting a memo about the availability of vaccinations at Timbercrest and at other places. So please be sure to check your mailbox today for a memo from Stan and from Christy about all of that. At this point, the second step of the vaccine is February the 10th for everybody who lives in the manor. And so, like I said, nothing to worry about until that particular date. There are a couple things to sign up for the snack shop on Wednesdays. So you want to be sure to sign up for those if you live inside the manor. And again, we're sorry that if you don't, we still aren't able to provide that sort of thing for you. But as I said, if you live inside, be sure to sign up so you get the things you need. So that's all the announcements we have. And so I want to introduce Adam. Adam's shared with us at Fellowship Hour before. But Adam, there's a lot of new people at Timbercrest. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself to get started?
Okay. Well, welcome everyone. I miss seeing faces, especially out at Timbercrest. And when I was out there, it's probably been about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. Time goes by pretty fast. But it'll be at some point we'll be able to have those in person again. Adam Penrod again. I am born and raised in North Manchester. My parents owned a dairy farm, and so I spent a lot of my summers doing milking cows and baling hay and getting dirty.
Sure.
I graduated from Manchester High School in 1998, and then I went to Purdue and got my animal agribusiness degree before coming back to North Manchester. North Manchester is always a place that obviously called home, and I did not want to venture too far from. I spent many weekends coming back from Purdue. One, to see my girlfriend and now wife, and two, I just really like North Manchester and the quietness and just the community itself. So I've never had any desire other than to go to some warm weather in the wintertime for vacation, but born and raised here. I started with the town shortly after graduating at the wastewater plant. While I found my career, I was looking for my career, but I wanted to start working in town. That led on to, moving up in the wastewater department, became utility superintendent, and then now town manager. So I've been with the town for 17 years.
Wow, very nice.
Still got quite a few more years to go till retirement, but really enjoyed it. I've learned a lot about not just building a community, but the behind the scenes work with the council, department heads, and so forth. So it's been a wonderful, blessed career, and wherever the Lord takes me, that's where I'm going to be at.
Hey, that's good. You just said that about dairy farming. It made me think of kind of a question. Do you find many similarities in herding cattle and managing a town?
Well, I don't know about herding cattle, but I do tell people, as far as working with the town, no 2 days are the same, and that you could say that on everything on the dairy farm. I know what my parents have been through. You don't know what you're going to that morning when
Right.
you get up and to milk the cows that morning. So that's kind of with the town. You don't know. You have your your day planned, but that never goes as planned. And as phone calls come and things happen, you just have to be open to whatever that may be. And the thing that you thought you're going to do on Monday, it might have to wait till Friday to do it. That's just how that day goes.
Yeah.
So absolutely, very, very much like a dairy farm or any farm, you just deal with the challenges that day and don't worry about tomorrow.
Sure. One thing before we get to a little bit more meaty kinds of questions, a lot of people at Timbercrest move from a lot of different areas. So could you just real quick explain the difference between why or what your role as a manager as opposed to like if you came from a town that had a mayor? What's the difference there?
Yeah, so a lot of people when they hear town manager, that role is you're not sure. Obviously, management is management. You're over different departments, but town really the community decides if they want to become a town or a city. And so if you're a city, there's different codes that you have to have, and you have to kind of designate yourself. You will have a mayor. So that's the biggest change. A difference is the people elect that individual to run the city. As a town, which the North Manchester is, they actually have an appointed position doing the same role as the mayor. So that is my position as a town manager. Essentially, it is the mayor, but I'm appointed by the town council on a contract. It's not elected, so as long as I'm doing my job, I can be here beyond 4 years. However, if I don't do my job, I could be out in a year. So that's the main difference between the two. It's not necessarily based on population because there's some cities that are 2,500 people in their city. We're about 6,000 if you include the university. So we're a pretty good size small community that could be a city, but it's really up to the council and what they want to how to set that up.
Sure.
And as far as I deal with all the department heads just as a mayor, police, fire department, parks department, water, sewer, street, stormwater, they all fall under my purview, and so I'm in the weeds with them each and every day. Just the middle person between the town council and the departments.
Yeah. How do you deal with somebody like Ann Myers?
No. Well, how much time do we have to talk about? I'm sure she'll be watching this.
She will be.
So no. Ann is one of our department heads as well. She's part-time at the Town Life Center. Love to have her. She's such a joy to our department. We like to meet once a week. Obviously, with the pandemic, we could not have in-person staff meetings, so we do Zoom staff meetings every Monday morning. But before that, we would meet in here in this conference room. We'd talk about our weeks, what happened last week, what's going on this week, and it just really built a very much a team atmosphere. We could talk about how we interconnect on that week and what we may have. So we're so blessed to have our staff, and especially Ann,
Sure.
there at the meetings too, as she manages the Town Life Center and all the functions and programs that they put on. So hi, Ann, if you're watching.
I'm
this
sure
is your buddy Adam.
Yeah, she's a great. Of course, Ann and I worked together for about 20 years, or well, not quite that long before she retired at Timbercrest. So she's wonderful. I'd like to use a little bit of a segue. You talked about the changes in your meetings because of the pandemic. What are some other ways that the pandemic has impacted town services and actually the way that the town runs?
Yeah. Well, just as other businesses got forced to shut down or restricted, the town services still had to go on.
Right.
We outside of the Strauss Peabody Aquatic Center, which we did shut down for a while, as we kind of wanted to see a direction of how can we safely reopen that building. Most of it was just reducing our in-person contact at the police station, at town hall. We can take visitors, but it's kind of appointment only. We just don't do walk-ins as much, just to try to keep less contact with our employees and the public. And obviously, wearing the mask is a big thing that the council highly is recommending for all departments to do, and different protocols that the CDC has did as far as social distance, cleaning, signage. So we've still operated, but just had to just keep, as everybody has, learn as we go. Each day is different. You might do one day and change the next. So we're just very, very liquid in what we're doing right here and fluid on how we change that. But we did open the aquatic center back up, trying to limit, create more spacing. For the most part, it's never been too full. So we feel like we've been doing a pretty good job of that, because we know recreation, that activity, not just for your mental state, your physical state, those are hand in hand. So we really wanted to try to keep that open, especially with winter time and people can't be outside and doing those activities. So
Sure.
We're still open, maybe more phone calls and Zoom meetings, virtual things like that when we have our interaction with the public.
What are some things that are that you're involved with now that are important to the town? What are some, I don't know, maybe town agenda items, things that especially things that people at Timbercrest might be interested in?
And some things maybe in the newspaper, if you've seen it, or social media. Obviously with the pandemic in 2020, a lot of the things that we had planned to do, those efforts really got skewed to, okay, what's the immediate need of the community at the time? Obviously putting different messaging out on resources for the businesses. We know for those beyond just those that had maybe gotten the COVID, health related, the business atmosphere and the economics of the town, when you have businesses shut down and people isolating more in their houses and not shopping at restaurants, that's those people's livelihood. So we know that they struggled to get the finances to stay home when their business was shut down. So we, back in end of March, we had applied for a $250,000 grant to the state, Okra. And so we took that money and gave it to businesses that were shut down or that had a reduced revenue. And so we ended up helped over 40 local businesses in North Manchester with between $5,000 to up to $15,000 of instant money to help them, retain the jobs that they had, help payroll, or maybe it's help pay utilities, just to keep them open long enough until they were back to being open themselves. So that was a huge benefit, and a lot of businesses that remained open and could make it through there. So grateful for that from the state. We did have, you want to celebrate your successes as much as what you can look and see doom and gloom on anything. We had 9 new businesses open last year, which is amazing. For a small town to have that many, that means that there's still a need out there, and a lot of entrepreneurs, hair salon, restaurants, some things that they still felt comfortable that the community would support, and they have. So we're great to have 9 businesses. Additionally, I know I spoke of a couple years ago on Chester Heights. We've not had a new housing development in town for many years, 20 years plus. So new housing, unless it was a spot build, we felt was necessary if we want to provide for the community and have people stay here. Everybody in their different stages of life, some want new homes, some want to redo. We just didn't have the stock, so we had, over a 5-year process, had built Chester Heights with a developer, kind of agreement. Right now, Chester Heights, it's on the west part of 9th Street. So if you go west of the high school, you'll see that development just past the road tracks. But we have 2 single-family homes that are occupied right now. A family moved from Michigan just before Thanksgiving, so we have 2. We also have 2 villaminiums that are available for sale, and they're complete. And we have 2 more single families under construction right now. So total, there'll be about 34 new housing units out there.
Very nice.
So we're hopeful that those that want to move to the town or within town would like a new home that they can build out there. So we're excited about that new area of the community. We are looking at, you mentioned about kind of 2021, what's on the horizon.
Right.
As we're kind of still working through the pandemic and starting to see maybe some light at the end of the tunnel, we're thinking about what can we do this year. And we're looking at out at Chester Heights, maybe doing some type of a trail. We know that walking and getting out in the community is one way, again, that mental and physical health, but it's also recreational for kids. We have people can walk around town on the sidewalks, but we felt like there needs to be a place that people can safely ride bikes and walk. So at Chester Heights, right now we're looking at maybe doing a 1.5 mile trail circle around that 92 acres that we have. We'd like to have it paved and then have a parking lot. So it's not just for that community. People can drive there, park, get their bikes out, or just run. Just have them a nice open, kind of scenic route by Clear Creek. So that is something that the council is looking at doing this year. Not something we want to wait on. We want to have that a nice amenity to the community. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that's really a good idea. I know at Timbercrest, we have that Robbins Way access, and we have people all the time that they walk or jog up and they walk around our campus and then come back. And I think you're right. I think a lot of people would use that.
Yes.
It's just a nice access right there to get around. Well, that's a great idea.
So we're excited about that. We want projects with the government, they can take a while, whether it's funding, permitting. With the town owning that ground, we think this is something we can do immediate, and we know that there'll be a lot of uses for that. And hopefully we'll have some public-private partnerships out there that may want to help put some money towards that project and do it right the first time. So we're excited about that in 2021.
Good.
Other things, we talking about the vaccine. I was a part of a group in Wabash County that put together the Wabash County vaccination site at the Historic Museum in Wabash, and they are open now, but we kind of have been working with the state on getting the Moderna vaccination, setting up scheduling. That was all a volunteer effort with the health department, myself, Mayor Long of Wabash, and Marilyn Custer Mitchell from Parkview had tried to coordinate that, and we've got one set up. So those that are able to get out, if you can't get it at Timbercrest, that is a local vaccination site. You can go to any county with the scheduling, but that one we know has been filled up as soon as we open a date, and eligibility, they're filled up within a day or two. So
is that right?
Be patient. Right now they're doing vaccinations on Thursdays and Saturdays this week, but those are already filled up. Then next week they'll start doing a half day on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And as we get more vaccinations, we will allow more openings and more days. But right now we're only getting about 100 to 150 each week from the state. That's our allocation. So we're trying to work within what we have and not overbook. And then we will be doing vaccinations on that second shot starting in the first week in February for those that already received it. So excited to have something local.
Sure. If our manor residents are able to get the vaccination at Timbercrest now, but the people who live in the neighborhood homes aren't. So who would they call to get that appointment, or is there a website or?
Yeah, you can go to the state website, look under coronavirus, and they'll actually have a tab that has vaccination sites or schedule a vaccination. If you click there, it'll link right to a state picture of the Indiana state, and you click to the county that you want, Wabash, you click register, and then it'll start to allow you to register. If you don't have capabilities through the internet or somebody to register for you, you can call 211. I know that they were bombarded right away. Sure. It's an informational number, but if you dial 211, they will set your registration up for you over the phone. So that's maybe the easiest one if you don't have access to a computer, but you can always call. If you need more information, call town hall and we can get you some information on that. But right now those appointments are going pretty fast, but
Sure.
it is for anybody 70 and older
Mhm.
is eligible, and we anticipate those 60 and older within the next week or two that the state will allow. But we've had a lot of participation in Wabash so far.
Nice, very good. That's good. So I know again, people who live in the manor,
Mhm.
that wouldn't apply because we're able to
Yeah.
do that.
Yep.
But if you live in the neighborhood homes, that's really a good piece of advice. Thank you
Mhm.
very much.
Yeah.
Anything else that you wanted to share about the town?
Yeah, we the town, and we actually started it late summer as we try to look to the future. I think if you're not looking to the future, really as not just a town but the county, you kind of lose sight of maybe where areas that you're deficient in for the community to keep it alive and vibrant. Some may be aware. I know the Community Foundation has posted that Wabash County's population has declined over the years, and it's continued to decline for various reasons. Some birth rates are a little lower. Some jobs may not be available that those that want to stick around here. Housing, sometimes there's not enough new housing. Those will pick outside the community to live. So there's various reasons, and it's been something that everybody, all leaders in the county, have said, if we don't do something and do future planning, where we're going to be at in 10 or 20 years is not where we want to be. So we
Right.
have to do something. So we're looking for ways to kind of turn that tide, and one of those is the Community Foundation and Grow Wabash County had kind of spearheaded an effort to bring all the county governments together, communities, and that's North Manchester, Wabash, obviously the county, Rowan, LaFountain, LaGrow, to talk together as one steering committee and make one county comprehensive plan. And if those that don't know what a comprehensive plan is, it's really just a visionary of what you want and plan to do or would like to do. Now, will it go according to plan? Probably not, because you have to look at funding, you have to look at land availability to do some things. But if you don't have a vision and those opportunities come up, you may miss a time to purchase a property or do something, making a river amenity along. Those types of things come up. You have to have a plan to know what you can do with that. So we've coordinated together a countywide comprehensive plan. We call it Imagine 185. The 85 obviously is where the 85th county were referenced as, so that's where they got the name. We were meeting about once a month with consultants that's doing that work. And there's a lot of planned community surveys. You can go online and do what they wanted to do more in person, but with the pandemics, it's been very difficult.
Right.
So we hope to have an in person for those able to first week in March to be a part of the process. The county leaders, we're leaders, but we want the community to speak
Right.
to know what we need. We're only, an eyes and ears of one. So we really need the community to speak up and say, this is an area where they would like to see, whether it's recreation, new housing, education, different things, healthcare, what are we lacking in the community? So that's that plan as we're working on. It's about a 15 to 18-month process to pull data, interview the county, the residents, every corner. They want to hit every corner of the county. They don't want to have one rock unturned to know what people are thinking out there. So when that is complete, we'll have not only just what does the county need to grow, but each individual community will have their own plan. Okay, how do you fit in the county plan?
Sure.
We really think that the Eel River in town is an asset that most communities don't have. We have a lot of frontage. What can we do to make that a destination? We know that canoers and kayakers have been more popular. You see them in the summertime, in the fall. How can we make that more attractive to bring visitors to North Manchester? So that's that county comp plan that we're in the middle of. We're about 5 months in, so we probably got another year until it's fully done. But we do ask the community to participate at any age, because there's things that we know from history that can help us now and so forth. So what are we missing in the community?
Right.
We're looking for that.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, my wife and I were to be involved with a meeting of that in Rowan. We live in Rowan, and that meeting was canceled because of the pandemic. But I'm glad to hear that's still going on.
It's still going on. They've had to do a whole lot of pivots this way and that way. We had to cancel some meetings. We're still want to have an in-person meeting. And I believe they've now moved it back to 1st of March. So we're hoping that we can get some restrictions lifted to where we can have some people together safely and be able to talk face to face.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think too what you were talking about, some I say development. I don't mean like sprawling, but just a simple thing like Ogan's Landing.
Yeah.
I think that that was an improvement I know people use. And then the farmers markets down there.
Yeah.
It's we have over at Rowan, we have that fish ladder by the dam and stuff.
There.
It's a little stuff, like you said. It doesn't take a lot, but people come to that stuff.
Yes.
And I think that's really good. I like that.
It always, you kind of have your vision of what you'd like to see there. Even at Ogan's Landing, it was a trailer park that over the years had gotten a few fires and stuff, and the trailers were kind of starting to fall apart. The very few residents down there was a flood area, and the town thought, it needs to be cleaned up. You need to revitalize areas. It just happens, and so that was an area that the town really just wanted to clean up and do something that's permitted in that flood area. So when we built that and had the plan of a canoe launch or just a river access, we didn't know where it would go from there. And we have a restroom down there, and we hope to build a pavilion this year.
Nice.
That was cut from the original plan because the prices got too big, but we plan to build that this year. 24 by 24 kind of open air pavilion. The Kiwanis Club, which shout out to Ann and those that are in the Kiwanis, they've helped out and built a few picnic tables that we put down there. We'd like to ask maybe some more that they build, and we'll put those under the pavilion and just have another area. There's a playground down there now that families can gather. It's not uncommon on the weekends to drive by if you're at the farmer's market and you see 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 12 vehicles parked over there of large groups that come, and you'll see them sitting up on the bank eating lunch or whatever, and then they'll go set off. So that's what we want, is just people here close to the downtown, and just really wanting to come here. I even had a year ago, or probably a year and a half ago, a group from just near Ohio, about a little over an hour, about 15 minutes away. They're going to drive to North Manchester to float the river. Obviously, they go down to Rowan, so that's a good connection with North Manchester and Rowan. They want to know if the water level was high enough to float it, because they had a large group of 25 that was coming all the way over from almost Ohio to here. And when you hear those things, you think, why can't we expand on that? Obviously, they've seen it as a success and a fun, close getaway for the day. We need to build off of that and make it even more of a destination. So we would like to, with the county comp plan, develop something beyond just Ogan's Landing, maybe a large pavilion for more of an entertainment. We know the farmers market they had their best year yet, and that's even in a pandemic year. The organizer there said that we've had more vendors come out. The spot's wonderful. It's safe. We're not having people cross the roadway there on Wayne Street about getting hit.
It was a rat's nest.
Yes, it was. So to have, it's just down from downtown. People can walk up and eat the restaurants. So it very much worked out well. And we didn't plan for that when we tore the building down. We just tore it down to get rid of an eyesore. But they came to us and said, hey, can we use that spot? Perfect. Why not? Plenty of parking. kids can go play on the playground. There's restrooms, so it worked out well, and we hope to just expand off of that area.
Sure.
Yep.
We've been talking for about half an hour, and that's about how long we usually go. But any wrap up thoughts? Any
Well, I like to forecast the future, but unfortunately we can't. But just really looking forward to this year. I think we have a better grasp of the pandemic, at least know where we're going. We have a direction, and I fully expect, more of a normalcy to continue to roll out. I know many residents in Timbercrest have not been able to see their family as much and communicate, and my heart goes out to the residents to know that it's been a rough year for you and just as the family that misses you in there. But we know that it's going to be brighter days. Everybody's holding tough, and wearing the mask. It still feels weird to have it on, but we're doing our part to just help keep people safe. So encouraging everybody that we're there, we're getting there. Businesses are eager to have in person, more people coming in, and not just takeout, because that's part of their business too, is to see face to face stuff. So we're excited for this year. The town council, if you don't know who's on there, briefly, Tom Dale, Jim Smith, Gary Montel, Laura Rager, and then Alan Miracle. So those are the council members. A lot of them been there for quite a few years. Very much looking how to improve the town each and every day. So just if there's ideas out there that we're missing, and absolutely I will try to keep in touch with the residents at Timbercrest. So.
Thank you very much, and thanks for watching today. And we'll see you again Thursday at 2:30 right here on the Timbercrest chat. Bye now.
Went pretty fast.
Yeah.